The performance is not possible without the help of Auntie Kat for doing the puppet costume, Auntie Sulin and Auntie Joyce help with the narration, and Sister Shirley's expert input on the singing, and of course, all our parents for their cooperation. So let's sit back and enjoy the performance.
Hi, my name is Manny and I am a manger. That's right, a manger. Yeah. You may have heard of me before. My family and I have been feeding animals for generations. Anyway, I have been asked to share my story with you today. So sit back and relax as I tell you my experience with Christmas. A long time ago, when I was just a log of timber, an innkeeper came to the carpenter shop and asked for a new manger for his animals. I was made into a manger, and the innkeeper took me home. Every day, he would line me with fresh straw and make sure that I was clean. At first, it was awkward having animals eat out of me, but I got used to it.
Life in Israel then wasn't so bad, even though we were ruled by the Romans. I remembered the people in Bethlehem and the surrounding cities talked about the coming Messiah God had promised, someone who would help get rid of the Romans and rule over Israel justly. Sometimes I would imagine myself being the throne of the Messiah. At other times I would imagine that I was his chariot. But no matter what I imagined, I was only an ordinary manger in a stable, just an insignificant piece of furniture in the stable of a small inn in Bethlehem. Nothing much happens in Bethlehem, or so I thought.
One day, the Roman Emperor, Caesar Augustus, decreed a census. That meant that everybody had to return to their city where their family's records were kept. As months passed by, thousands of people traveled all over Israel to return to their town of origin for the census. I remembered that the innkeeper was very happy. Why? Because every room in his inn was fully booked. One night, just as I was getting ready to rest, I heard the voices of a man and a woman. They said that they had come from Nazareth in Galilee, and they sounded worried. It seemed that the woman was about to give birth, but every inn in Bethlehem was full. We were their last hope.
The innkeeper told them that he too had no more room for them, but out of compassion he offered the stable. He apologetically said, "It isn't much, it's not very clean, but at least it's warm." The grateful couple followed the innkeeper to the stable. He let them in and gave them some blankets. The woman looked very uncomfortable, and she found it difficult to lie down because of her condition. Soon the baby arrived. The night was rather dark, and the baby was born under the glow of candles. Then a very strange thing happened. As soon as the baby was delivered, the sky grew very bright. The couple wrapped the baby in some clean strips of cloth and then looked around for somewhere to lay him down. Oh yes, it was a boy.
I was afraid that they would use me as a bed for the baby. It was bad enough that animals ate out of me and slobbered all over me. The last thing I wanted was to hold the little baby who would probably cry all night. But try as I might to hide, they soon spotted me and placed the baby inside of me. To my surprise, he didn't cry. I remembered feeling sorry for him. Imagine being born in a stable. How humiliating is that? Suddenly, I heard a commotion outside. Some men were shouting excitedly about angels and the Messiah. They were shepherds who had been out tending their sheep that night when they saw angels who told them that the Savior, Christ the Lord, had been born in Bethlehem. Wow, I thought to myself. What a coincidence! 2 babies born the same night in the same town.
The shepherds said that when they got to the city, they could see a bright star. Then they said that the star was right over our inn. I I got very excited, thinking that a very important baby, probably the Messiah, had been born very close to our inn. I didn't know then that my life was soon to change. The shepherds told the couple that the angels had given them a sign, that they would find a baby wrapped in strips of cloth and lying in a manger. Then it dawned on me. The baby lying inside of me was the Messiah. I was the Messiah's first crib. How I wished I was cleaner and more elegant. How I wished I was in some beautiful palace and not a dirty, smelly stable. How I wished I was lined with fine linen instead of straw. A stable was no place for a king, and a manger was not a proper bed for the Messiah.
Though unworthy, God had given me the honor of holding the Messiah. The Savior of the world was here lying inside of me. God's greatest desire is to reconcile a lost world to himself. So much so that he gave us Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life.
Do you know the true meaning of Christmas? It is not about gifts or holidays or family or even peace on earth. The true meaning of Christmas is the salvation of lost souls. That's the reason Jesus was born in the first place, to die for sinners, and that means every single one of us.
Enjoy the holiday and time with your family. But if you get a chance today, tell someone about the true meaning of Christmas. You can tell them that Jesus is more than just a baby who was born more than 2,000 years ago. Shepherds sought him. Wise men sought him. You should seek him too.
Jesus came to save us from eternal death more than 2,000 years ago. But there was no room for him that night in Bethlehem. Do you have room for Jesus?
Journeyed far for weary pair. They sought for shelter from the cold night air. Some place where she could lay her head, where she could give her babe a quiet bed. Was there no room, no corner there? And all the town was what someone could spare. Was there no soul come to their aid? A stable bed was where the family stayed. Do you have room for the Savior? And do you seek him anew? Have you a place for the one who lived and died for you? Are you as humble as a shepherd boy, or as wise as men of old? Would you have come that night? Would you have sought the light? Do you have room? A wondrous light, a sign from God. This was the holy night, and yet so few